Who will be the best in the league in 2023? What's good, NFL fans? Football is back, and today we have my top 10 of my power rankings for week 1 of the NFL season. Now, if you are interested in seeing an explanation for my full 32 team power rankings, head to my website, buffalovoid.com. Link is at the top of the description. Make sure to check that out. Now let's dive right into number 10. At the number 10 spot, I do have the New York Jets. The main question around this team is, what is Aaron Rodgers going to bring? We all know he's a good quarterback. He's an upgrade over Zach Wilson and Mike White. But how many more wins does that add to a team that went 7-10 last year? They might be in the toughest division in football. That's up for debate. But with Aaron Rodgers getting older and trending downward statistically over the past few seasons, let's be honest, it's going to be better than what they had. But what are they getting? Because what they're going up against is some dogs. Josh Allen and Tua Tagovailoa, dogs. I do think the media is overrating this team a lot. You know, they're embracing, the team is embracing we're going to the we want to win the Super Bowl. Every team wants to win the Super Bowl. But if you've seen it and you've paid attention to it, you know it's kind of what they call meat riding a little bit. They're riding on the D of the New York Jets. Not that D. Not the defense. That D. I'm not going to sit here and just shit on the Jets all day. They've got plenty of talent. They've got some good players. They've got a great coach. Great defense. They're going to win lots of games. They're going to be above 500. Let's get that out of the way. There's no way they go below 500. They've got an incredibly tough schedule, one of the toughest in the league. The whole AFC East has an incredibly hard schedule, but the expectations are so high for this team. My concern is that you cannot exceed them. You can only disappoint. And because I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, it's just going to be disappointment, and it's going to cause more chaos in a team that doesn't need more chaos. They need stability. Now at the number 9 spot, I do have the San Francisco 49ers. It's arguable that the Brock Purdy injury in the NFC Championship cost them a Super Bowl, or at least a trip to the Super Bowl. They were in that game. If you were watching it, they were in that game till Purdy got hurt. Eagles weren't looking good, and then Purdy got hurt, and it became a blowout. My concern isn't with the talent of this team or even the depth of this team. My concern is with Brock Purdy and his injury, or his general skill and talent and ability to ball and play ball. He was good last season. He wasn't great. He was good. He got the job done. Granted, anyone can get the job done in the San Francisco 49er system. Maybe not Josh Johnson, but most people could. Surgery on the elbow is never good. We saw Allen hurt his elbow last season, and he didn't have to get surgery, which is, praise the Lord, whatever God you believe in, that did not happen. If you're a Bills fan. If you're not, you probably don't give a damn. For example, look at what happened to Big Ben when he hurt his elbow. His arm was shot. He was done for it. At that moment, when he came back, you're, this guy's toast. He was washed. And I'm not saying Brock Purdy is washed, because the guy is in his second year. But he might not get to be what he was going to be for this team. We have to wait and see how it unfolds for them. He's been cleared to play, so that's good. Ben Roethlisberger was cleared to play. He can get cleared to play. It all comes down to really just how it goes. Does it go good? Does it go bad? Let's see what happens. Now coming in at the number 8 spot, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this might be a little low for a team that I have winning the 1 seed in the AFC. But I don't think they've necessarily earned that top spot yet. They played Kansas City pretty well in their divisional playoff game. The comeback was incredible against the Chargers. Historical. Their division is a cakewalk. They should go 6-0 in theory. I don't think they will, but they should. That's what you expect out of a team with expectations like the Jacksonville Jaguars have. The addition of Calvin Ridley is going to take this offense to another level. It was great last season. It's only going to get better. Calvin Ridley is fresh. He had that year off from the gambling suspension, and he's going to ball out. He's going to be their wide receiver 1. I know Christian Kirk was pretty good last year. Calvin Ridley is just 10 times the player he is or ever will be. I think with all this additional help, Trevor Lawrence is going to take that next step. Like I've said, he probably is the MVP if the Jags are the 1 seed, because I think that just will kind of go hand in hand with the Jaguars being the team they are and Trevor Lawrence. The media loves a good story, and a good story is the Jags being the 1 seed and Lawrence getting the MVP. Coming in at the number 7 spot, I have the Miami Dolphins. And as a Bills fan, it pains me to say this, They are good. And I know this might be a controversial take amongst many, but I think Tua is a top 10 quarterback. I think he's better than Jalen Hurts. That's my hottest take of the day. But that's not the point. As a Bills fan, I'm obligated to hate Miami, but I just don't hate Tua. I love his story. He hasn't had the smoothest start to his career. He is better than what people give him credit for. Yes, Mike McDaniel's system has elevated his game and helps him be better, but name me any quarterback in the history of ever that wouldn't benefit from having a system that is focused on their skills and helps them succeed. That's the goal. The quarterback is the anchor. It is what moves the boat. It's the paddle that rows your boat. It's the motor that makes your car drive. Or is that gas? I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is Tua is what runs this team. We saw what they were like when he wasn't playing. They were terrible. I mean, they almost beat the Bills in the playoff game, but we don't need to talk about that. He did some jiu-jitsu in the offseason, which in the preseason you might have seen has helped him learn how to land and not just flail his body all over the place, giving him so many concussions. If he can stay healthy, he'll be an MVP candidate. There's no doubt in my mind. I think Miami is the only serious contender to challenge Buffalo in the division. They almost did last year when Tua was healthy, and if he stayed healthy all year and played all 17 games, he probably would have. This Dolphins team is only going to continue to get better, and they're going to add Jalen Ramsey later in the season, which is going to be huge. He's still a great player. In at number 6, I have him lower than most. I got the Philadelphia Eagles. They quite possibly have the easiest path to a Super Bowl in the history of ever. The history of the league, and I'm not kidding. I don't know the stats behind this. Might have to look it up, but y'all saw their schedule last year. It was so easy. I bet if you put Kansas City Chiefs, Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills, Jacksonville Jaguars, probably a couple other teams too you could throw over there, Baltimore Ravens if they stayed healthy, Miami Dolphins if they stayed healthy, over in the Philadelphia Eagles situation last year, they go 17-0. Easily. And all that's pretty contradictory with my belief that the Eagles have one of the best rosters in the league. Might be better than some of the teams that I listed that would be better in that situation. Not to mention, they've got Jalen Hurts. He's a dog. I think he's kind of overrated. I don't think he's anywhere near top 5. I think he's like 10th, top 10 would be perfect for him. I think the book is out on this team. I think they're still going to win a lot of games. I still think they'll be a wild card team, but I don't think that. But I think they will regress a lot this season, more around 9-10 wins. Now coming in at the number 5 spot, I've got the Cincinnati Bengals, and this team is just loaded. It's oozing with wide receiver talent. There's no better wide receiver room in the league than the Cincinnati Bengals. They might have the best skill position group in the entire league. That's including wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends. For the casuals out there. There is a question about Joe Burrow's health. He hurt his calf in training camp. I'm not sure if he's rushing back or he's just cleared to play, but it looks like he might play week 1. I really hope he's not rushing back because it's just going to cause more long-term problems. He's about to get the bag and become the highest paid player in the league, 55 mil plus easily. Why risk it? What are you doing, Joe? I'm not just saying that because I want the Bills to not have to worry about you. You'd be back by that time anyways. But what are you doing? You gotta protect yourself. You're one of the best athletes in the game. Save yourself. Help the Bengals go on a run later, which I think the Bengals have a lot of potential to do. They're always going to be a contender for the AFC title with Joe Burrow at the helm, as long as he's healthy. Now, at number 4, I have my favorite, the Buffalo Bills. I think we've all seen the narrative in the media this offseason. The disrespect around this team has got a little bit crazy. Yes, their season ended poorly. I was at the game where they lost. It was pathetic what I saw with my own 2 eyeballs. These things right here. The saddest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. And I've been to a funeral. Leslie Frazier got the can despite what they tell us. He got fired. It's just the kindest way to tell you to go yourself and get out of here is, oh, he quit. But what that means is now Sean McDermott is going to be calling the plays for this Buffalo defense, and what got him the job in Buffalo in the first place was him calling those plays in Carolina. Carolina went to a Super Bowl with Sean McDermott calling their defense. Can Sean McDermott calling Buffalo's defense get them to a Super Bowl? I can only hope, because I'm a Bills fan. If Josh Allen is healthy, he suffered that elbow injury last season. He didn't have the best season to his standards. He could have been better, but he was still great. Put up numbers. But if you've seen the eye test, it just wasn't Josh Allen. I think it's really just trendy to hate Buffalo right now. It's always trendy to hate things, because when the hate starts, people just love to hate. So it just continues to exponentially increase. The Bills are a good team. Stop hating on them. Unless you're a Dolphins, Jets, or Patriots fan, then I get it. Like, I would do the same if I was you. Coming in at number 3, I got the most shocking pick on this list, maybe, the Dallas Cowboys. It's our year, guys. We're America's team. They say that every year. But this year, it might actually be their year. That defense is oozing. It's loaded. I think it'll be the best defense in the league. Points per game, yards, touchdowns allowed. Like, a duo of Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore is lethal. And you have Micah Parsons rushing the passer. They got a rookie D-tackle, which he could be pretty good. And they've got adequate safeties. I think some of the quarterbacks they face this season are turnover prone. I think Dallas gets a lot of hate because they're Dallas. They're America's team. I know what you're thinking. Dak sucks. Dak was bad last year, but Dak Prescott is not going to be that bad again. All right, let's just face it. He threw a lot of picks. Pretty sure it led the league. It's not going to happen again. They added Brandon Cooks. They've still got CeeDee Lamb. They lost Dalton Schultz. Tony Pollard's back. New offensive coordinator. They'll be fine. Another main thing for my belief in Dallas is the NFC is just so wide open. There's not really much competition outside of like the top 4 teams. There's probably only 2 or 3 max that will actually have a chance at going to the Super Bowl, let alone winning the damn thing. Dallas can make a run, and I know everyone's going to be running to the comments to laugh. They really could. If you take your bias out of it and just think about it, Dallas is loaded and Dallas is ready to go on a run. Coming in at my number 2 spot for my power rankings, I have the Baltimore Ravens. And I know what you're thinking. Baltimore? Really? The Ravens? What? Let me explain myself, and I think I can turn you into a Ravens truther like I am. Ravens were practically atop of the AFC last season, 7-3 before Lamar got hurt and missed the rest of the year. Lamar's health is obviously a concern going forward. He got that bag this offseason. The Ravens are banking on him staying healthy, and so am I. Their defense is always solid. It should be top 10. I'm not concerned about the defense. I am excited to see how this offense performs with the new weapons. Zay Flowers out of the draft. Odell Beckham Jr., they signed him. New offensive coordinator. Pass first scheme. Lamar's been asking for that forever. And he's still got his running ability. How are you going to stop that? I really think that Lamar could have a better season than his MVP season in 2019. People need to stop sleeping on Baltimore because they've been good ever since Lamar got there. Lamar's got one of the best winning percentages in history. Ravens are going to go on a run, and I really think they could challenge for the number 1 seed in the AFC. Now, coming in at number 1, no surprise to anybody, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. There's nothing you can really say about that. Are you going to argue with me? I don't think so. They're in dynasty territory right now. They are the Patriots of the 2020s. And until Patrick Mahomes retires, they will be that team. The fact of the matter is, unless the Kansas City Chiefs just completely fall off a cliff and they lose a lot of games in general, or one of the top teams like Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Philly beats them, I don't even know if any of those teams play them. I know Buffalo does. They're going to be number 1 on this list, on everybody's list. Be the best, you got to beat the best. And Kansas City is the best. And until someone beats them, they're number 1. And with that, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, and in the comments down below, let me know who your number 1 team is. Let me know your top 10. On your way out, please subscribe. It really helps with the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so if you're new here, I would really appreciate it if you could help us get there. And that's all I got. Who's ready for some football, baby? Let's go.